I work on Dana Wallet.
Nano Wallet.
Right now, yeah, Dana Wallet, which is the first pure silent payment wallet.
Pure silent payment
Yeah.
wallet. Okay. What's a silent payment?
Yeah, maybe that's the right question to ask first. Silent.
What makes it silent versus a noisy payment?
Actually, maybe the term silent payment is not proper. It's a new kind of, if you're familiar with BIP47, staff addresses, and there were a couple other protocols before. The point is to make an address, a Bitcoin address, that you can actually reuse safely, because it will be like translated on the blockchain every time with another address, so that you reuse address, but actually on chain you're not reusing address.
So you publish was the same Bitcoin address,
Yeah.
but then when people go to send you money on chain, they use something slightly different. So it's
Exactly.
not the same.
Exactly.
Oh, that sounds complicated.
Actually, that's not that complicated. From the user point of view, it's a lot simpler, because you don't need to bother with, the normal wallets, like normal wallets you have, like HD derivation path, and
Yes.
okay, you still have a seed actually, so with silent payment wallet, but you don't have to. The good part is you can have a seed. You don't have to. That's fine if you don't. But anyway, you don't have to bother about generate a new address. If I want to send you money, I will have to ask you, oh, can you give me a new address, please? And you have to open the wallet and generate an address and send it to me via, I don't know, some messaging app or anything. And actually, with silent payment, I will just maybe. We don't even need to meet. You can go to my website or X profile or whatever. I will paste the silent payment address, and you just take that, and then you pay me, done. And on chain, that's like a new address. And if you pay me again, that's a new address. And again and again and again.
And so, as the user who's scanning the address and paying you, I have no idea maybe that it's a reusable one.
Actually, they look pretty different.
Okay.
That's a new address format. You can't really mistake. They are twice as long, roughly, as normal Bitcoin addresses, so that's hard to mistake them. And if you try to do that kind of payment with a non-silent payment address, obviously the wallet won't be happy with that.
Right.
And actually, one good question will be, how do I know that maybe that's your address, if it's something that I've seen just online?
Yeah.
And that's a good question.
Oh, you don't have an answer for that one?
No, actually that's the same question that we have been trying to answer with like GPG keys for like more than 30 years.
Okay.
But for example, if we are like both here, and you just scan my address with your phone, then you can be pretty sure that's my address.
Right, they got it from you directly, yeah.
And so that works, and we could imagine another way to make that actually. That could be like some proxy for identities.
Got it.
If done right. For now it's a bit early maybe, but because that's some piece of ID that won't move, and once you're sure that's mine, then it's mine. So you can be...
okay, that's cool. So it's kind of like in Signal, when you add a new contact, you like verify them, and you're like, yes, I know this is who this is.
Yeah.
Like
That could be interesting to have that kind of workflow, like Signal, like I'm scanning you, and okay, no, I'm certain that's you, and that kind of workflow.
But if I find a silent payment address on a website, for example, I just kind of have to assume that the person who put it up there had complete control of their server, no one's hacked it, put something else in there.
Yes, but
that's a normal problem with anything.
You're already trusting DNS, actually, if you go to my website. So.
That's true, yeah, right. Exactly. Definitely.
If I got hacked or something, that's too bad for me, I guess. But,
and silent payments isn't any different than any other way of trying to send information across the internet using DNS.
No, that doesn't solve that problem.
Actually,
the only problem that it solves is address reuse, but that's a pretty big problem.
It is a big problem, yeah. So. I've definitely, I do a lot of exchange or interacting with companies and stuff around Bitcoin, and it's crazy because I run conferences with Bitcoin++, and it's crazy how many of them are like, well, we'll just send you money back to the same address we sent it to the first time. I'm like, no, you won't. You will not.
Don't you dare.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like that's just, I think it's one of those things that sending money with Bitcoin can be kind of scary or daunting. And for people, like once they do it one time, they know it works. They like redoing things that they know work.
Yes.
So how
Yes.
does the UX work for like silent payment? Or maybe like what part of the protocol are you working on? Maybe are you working on the user experience side of it? Are you working more at like how the protocol actually works? Is the protocol done? Like
Yeah, actually, I've been working with another guy on the Rust implementation of that.
okay.
I've not really contributed to the protocol itself. The BIP, it exists, you can read
Okay.
it, but I haven't contributed to that.
So the BIP's out there. You're
Yeah,
just trying to take the BIP and implement it in
yeah, exactly.
Rust Bitcoin.
And then we come to the UX part, which is what we are here actually to test, because
Okay.
I'm not a UX guy.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't understand much about UX, and actually that's a real problem, because that kind of change some habits that we have, some expectations that we
Right.
have with Bitcoin Wallet, and we kind of, in the dark with that, and we're experimenting to see what works, what don't. We already had some feedbacks with scraps. We already scrapped a few ideas that we had, so yeah, making it slowly but
So
steady.
you're iterating, it sounds
Yeah,
like, on the user
iterating, yeah.
experience. That's cool. Is it the sort of thing, like, so, I mean, this is a new address type or a new way of sending and receiving Bitcoin. From a user perspective, they're kind of gonna have to wait until different wallets implement and support it, right? So, like, access to silent payments is downstream of the tools that you use to send and receive Bitcoin, actually adopting it as a standard.
Right, but the good news is that you can implement sending to silent payments without actually implementing the receiving part.
Okay.
That's totally fine. So you can, actually a few wallets out there have already integrated the sending part. I think Blue Wallet, biggest one, BTC Pay maybe. I might be wrong on that one, but
Sure,
anyway,
okay.
that's pretty straightforward actually to implement sending. Receiving is the hard part, but you don't have to be a silent payment wallet.
What makes receiving so difficult?
Uh, okay, strap around. We're taking off.
Yeah.
Okay, what is making it not very difficult, but a bit tricky is that where you kind of use to either you have like a full node, and then okay, that's pretty straightforward. Either your light client, and most light clients out there, we have been relying on the Electrum protocol to
Okay.
get their outputs, and we can do that. With
You can't do that.
No, we can't rely on Electrum protocol because one, that's too different. That doesn't work the same at all.
Okay.
Two, that will be kind of self-defeating because Electrum doesn't have very good privacy.
Okay.
It means that when you're a light client, basically you have some tricks to obfuscate a little, but basically the Electrum server knows your outputs because you're asking him and he answers. So
So
there's
you're
no
basically
way around
asking
that.
him for what
Yeah.
your outputs are.
And
Got it.
with silent payments, the point will be that the server can't know. So
Right.
it's closer from. I don't know if you're familiar with Neutrino,
I've
which
heard
is
of it.
another light client
Like kind of protocol, yeah. I forget how it works though.
It's working with, as far as I know, compact filters, which is something which is you can find in Bitcoin Core too. Basically, you take every output, to put it simple, every output in a block, and you produce a very compact filter.
Right.
And then that's really interesting mathematics. I don't understand that either. But anyway, you're throwing your keys into that filter, and the filter will return yes, no, basically.
Right.
True,
So
false.
the server creates basically like the full node that has access to the blocks creates the filter.
Yes, actually, you need someone that has access to the whole block to create the filter.
The filter. So that's kind
Yeah.
of the reverse of I send a filter for what I want, basically, right?
Yeah, but I think you're talking about Bloom filters, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Which is kind of the reverse of that. It's not the phone that will produce some kind of filters and give it to the server. It's the other way around.
Right, and that gives you better
Yeah.
privacy, right?
Yeah, Neutrino is pretty good at privacy, and actually, what we have to do with silent payments is kind of similar, and it has the same trade-offs, meaning that better privacy for light clients, but higher bandwidth usage, and CPU usage. So that's a problem that we're trying to solve.
More bandwidth and CPU to use silent payments.
Yeah.
And where does that come from? Why are you having to send more data and use more cycles on the computer to figure out what silent payments were?
Because basically what you're doing is that you get that compact filter from the server, and then you just generate and you get, the compact, actually I was missing some parts, you get the compact filter and you get some piece of data, which is like public, which can be computed by anyone which has access to the blockchain, and the server just gives you that, so it can't tell anything about you. That's the same data for everyone.
Okay.
But with that data you can do some processing, and then you produce your own outputs. What would be your outputs if you had some outputs in that block? That's a bit tricky. I don't know if you follow along, but you're throwing that into the filter. If it's all false, then it means that you don't have anything in that block. Just go along. If you have a true, then you download the whole block and you do the whole processing and find all your inputs in that block.
So you ask for the entire block, which is up to 4 megabytes of data. Okay.
But you only have to ask if you actually have an output in that block.
Got it.
So most of the time, except for, if you want to be really picky, there are some false positives sometimes, but
hopefully on a low percentage,
a low percentage.
So, I mean, the downside of this kind of protocol is that if you were being transacted with enough such that you had a transaction in almost every other block, you're not really saving that much from a full client in terms of bandwidth.
But I should say that if you have a transaction or many transactions in every block, probably you should run a full node, actually. That would be better for you, and you can afford it.
I see, okay.
You know what I mean? But if you're like normal user, one transaction here and there, it should be fine. We're still testing it to see if it's actually usable, but testing has been quite concurrent so far. So,
I mean, 4 megabytes is about as big as a picture, right? So if you're downloading that much data every 10 minutes, it's not really insane as long as you don't have to hold on to it, right?
No, especially since you don't have to download the whole block every 10 minutes.
Right.
Only when you have a transaction. If you don't have a transaction in that block, that's a lot smaller.
Right.
I don't have like the size on the top of my head, but that's not 4 megabytes.
Cool.
A lot smaller.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's pretty much. I don't know how long.
As long as you want,
I could talk all day. So that's up to you.
So what are you currently working on? And so you're working on implementing it in Rust Bitcoin, which is important because there's a lot of projects written in Rust, like wallets and stuff. And so as soon as you're able to add it to Rust Bitcoin, that becomes a library implementation.
Just to from you, I implemented it in Rust, not in Rust Bitcoin.
Oh, I see.
Sorry,
okay.
Maybe I wasn't.
This is good to know. Yeah, so it's like a separate project, basically.
Yeah, that's separate.
Cool. And what kind of so now that you've got it like it is Rust Bitcoin, or is a separate Rust library. If people wanted to use it, is it finished? Are you still working on it?
It's kind of finished. It's usable, definitely.
Sure.
But it's on its way. Actually, the lowest level part is going to be deprecated very soon.
Okay.
Why? But actually, that's good news. It's because it's being implemented better than we can do in the SecP 205.66k1 library.
So they're implementing it in the library.
Yeah. So we actually get to use that, which is a lot better than we
much
can
better.
do. So,
When is that project supposed to be finished? So it's working in progress. Who's working on that currently? What devs are working on adding it?
Me and another guy.
Okay. So you guys are adding it. Got it.
This episode is brought to you by BTC++, the premier technical conference series for Bitcoin developers. BTC++ is not your typical Bitcoin conference. It's a world-class gathering of engineers, hackers, and builders focused on the cutting edge of Bitcoin development. From protocol research to Lightning, smart contracts, covenants, privacy tools, and beyond, BTC++ dives deep into the work that's shaping the future of Bitcoin. Join us for our next event in Riga, Latvia on August 7th and 8th, focused on Bitcoin privacy, and see all our upcoming events across the globe at btcplusplus.dev.
So you're working on adding it to libsecp.
No. Sorry.
That's okay.
No, I'm not working on CP2. I'm not smart enough to do that. No. I'm working on our wallet, and actually that's a good thing. You know, we're like doing their stuff, low-level stuff, and then we are with wallets with UX and that kind of user-facing. So
yeah, definitely.
That's better that way.
So you're working on the Rust side of it. At some point, the math part will get integrated into libsecp, so you guys will be able to maybe get rid of some of the code you've written.
Yeah, we could actually. We will deprecate some code that we've written.
Exactly.
So sad.
Well, yeah.
We spent so many time writing that, and then just to a trash bin. But that's life.
Yeah.
And but what's interesting now is really the application layer. I think getting the UX right, because if we get the UX wrong, then
people won't use it.
Yeah, exactly.
And people get confused. I mean, because how much of a worry is there that someone might use silent payments and then their wallet won't be able to find money that got sent to them? Like they'll lose funds just because the protocol that they're using or whatever it doesn't work out. Does that make sense as a question? Like, or is it more just that people will be confused about what you're doing and not like it? What's the worry with like bad UX, I guess?
Worry, that's pretty simple. If UX sucks, maybe that's the best technical solution out there, but people just won't use that.
Right.
So, and actually, I don't know if I mentioned BIP47.
I don't think you said it earlier, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. That was a protocol which is actually really cool. I have absolutely, because that's kind of drama in Bitcoin. You have like conflicts and BIP47. At some point there was some drama, not really drama, but just people on Twitter chatting about no, BIP47 is better, silent payment sucks, and the reverse. Actually, both are good, but I think it's a shame that BIP47 has been around for a long time, and the reason, I think, I might be wrong, but the reason it didn't catch up was UX was not great, not ideal. It could have been better. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's why people, not enough people, have
adopted
been using that.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Bad UX, but silent payments has better UX because
if we got it right, if we got it wrong,
okay.
then we follow the same path and. But that's why we are here, actually, to try to get feedbacks and try to get the UX right. So
cool.
That's it. Yeah.
How can people, if they want to participate or help out, what's the best way to like either follow the project or contribute, get in touch?
Not many people actually. We have Dana itself, Dana Wallets. We are 2 people actively working on that.
Okay. What's it called? Danite?
DANA.
Oh, Dana. Oh,
Dana.
Dana Wallet. Okay.
Dana Wallet, and that's very early. That's a bit
Very
rough
cool.
right now, but working on that, and we are 2 people working on that, like coding. Then we have some great people at the Bitcoin design community that are helping a lot with UX. So
very
that's
cool, yeah.
thanks, thanks to them. And that's for now. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Are you looking for external contributors or new devs?
Yeah, I guess that's open source project, so every contribution is
pull
welcome.
request, welcome. There you go.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Of course.
Very cool. Are you guys going to be able? I don't think I've told you about. So I run Bitcoin++. We're doing a privacy edition in Riga, August 7th and 8th. It'd be great if you guys were able to come and talk about what you're working on.
Riga is early August this year, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
unfortunately, I won't be there. I can't. But maybe I will chat with my colleague. Maybe he will be there. I don't know. So.
Be great. Yeah, very cool. Well, it was really nice to meet you. Sosthene, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. People can find you on the internet or Nostr.
Not necessarily. I created an account maybe 2 years ago, and then I just totally forgot about that. But I should reactivate it by now.
Okay.
I'm not that present on social media actually. We are setting up a website. It's not online yet, but it will be soon. danawallet.app.
Okay.
So I think that might be the best place to contact us.
Sounds
soon, very
perfect.
soon.
Very soon. Cool.
Yeah.
Soon TM. Maybe
Soon.
2 weeks.
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks. Maybe.
2 weeks. All right, cool. Well, it's very nice to meet you, Sosthene. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.